Knock knock. So I'm walking in and the first thing I'm doing is assessing the environment, making sure that everything's safe and okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use hand sanitizer and make sure that I'm sterile before I walk in. Can I get your name and date of birth, please?
Thomas O. May 13, 1997.
Awesome. So what's bringing you in today, Thomas?
Just my annual physical.
Okay. When was the last time you got your physical done?
About a year ago.
Okay. Let me mark that down. Alright, so with this, we're just going to do a normal physical assessment then. We're going to go through multiple different assessments. We're going to do some range of motion exercises and all sorts of stuff, but I'm going to explain everything to you right before we do it, okay?
Okay.
So the first thing we'll do is kind of like a little interview. So can you tell me about what normally goes on in a normal day for you?
Just go to school, starting from 9, end at 2.
Okay.
After that, I'll probably eat, play volleyball, or go skiing.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Do you ever have any health issues or anything that pops up like that concerns you?
No.
Okay. And then can you tell me about your sleep? How do you sleep at night?
Takes me a bit to go sleep.
How many hours
Probably
a night do you think you get?
4 to 6.
Okay.
Depending on the night.
Do you feel pretty good in the morning when you wake up, or
tired, but
tired? Okay.
I'll get through the day.
Mm-hmm. What about exercise? What kind of exercise do you do?
Volleyball, basketball, skiing.
And about how long do you think you do each one of those things?
Volleyball, basketball, probably 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours a week.
Okay.
Then skiing, it could go probably 12 hours at the most a week.
Okay. Do you ever have any issues breathing or anything like that when you're doing any of those activities?
No.
Do you ever cough up mucus or anything like that that's different colored or that kind of catches you off guard?
No.
Okay. And what about your diet? Talk to me about your diet. Like on a normal day, do you feel like you eat all 3 meals? Do you feel like you eat your veggies and fruits? Do you eat a lot of fast food, like that kind of stuff?
Not much fast food. I'll eat veggies, meat, a good portion of each.
Okay.
And I'll probably average around 2, and maybe 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about bowel movements? Do you ever have issues with bowel movements?
No.
Is it usually soft, brown, no discoloration?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. What about urination wise? Do you feel like there's any issues with that? Do you urinate pretty often every day? Have you ever noticed any brown urine or anything like that?
No. They're
Okay.
pretty good.
Everything's good on this? Okay. And what about mentally? Do you ever have any memory losses or anything like that?
No.
Nothing like that? Okay. Okay. And what about your history? Do you have any history of or in your personal one, do you have diabetes or any kind of illness and all that we should know?
No illness that I have.
And then what about in your family? Do you have any diabetes or cancer that runs in it?
My grandma has diabetes.
Okay.
My dad used to have colon cancer.
Okay.
And that's it, I think.
Okay. Do you have any allergies or anything like that?
No.
Okay. What about medications? Do you take any
No.
medications?
No.
No dietary supplements, no herbal supplements or anything like that?
No. Nothing.
Okay. What about immunizations? Are you up to date on those? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Got everything.
Do you remember when the last time you got your flu shot was?
Flu shot around October.
Okay.
September.
And what about at home? Do you feel pretty safe at home? Are you happy with your life at home and stuff like that? Do you have any issues with it?
No issues.
Okay. No issues. So the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna take your vitals and stuff like that. But before that, I'm gonna do the general survey. So I noticed right off the bat that he's sitting up. He made eye contact the entire time. He wasn't stuttering. He didn't have any issues with talking to me. He was speaking in full sentences. Nothing was repeating. He takes good care of his hygiene. He's alert and oriented ×4, so otherwise he's doing good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do vitals. I don't have a thermometer, so I'm gonna skip that portion of it, but normally I would do one orally, insert it under the tongue, and get a measurement from there. But the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a blood pressure reading. So you mind taking your jacket off. And this will be a 2-step blood pressure reading, which means that I will be going through and palpating you for your systolic pressure, and then I'll come back and take it. Do you have a preferred arm?
No, doesn't matter.
here. I'm just gonna feel right here and get your radial pulse. Okay. Okay, so it disappeared at about 140, so that means that when I actually do your blood pressure here in a second, I'm gonna do I'm gonna pump it up to 160. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna check your respiratory rate and your heartbeat. Okay, so your heart rate is about 72 beats per minute, and then your respiratory rate is at 14 breaths per minute, which is good. And on a scale from 0 to 10, what would you say your pain is today?
0.
0? Okay, so a nice 0 for that. So now let's go ahead and get your actual blood pressure this time. And so this time I'm gonna get Okay, it's 110 over 75, so you're in a good range. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set this over on this side. I'll mark that down real quick. Okay, so otherwise everything looked pretty good with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into the exam of the other parts. So for this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and have you that way we can get in the picture. Do you want to scoot over towards the middle a little bit? Let me silence it super quickly.
Popular guy.
Alright, so for this first one, I'm gonna start with a head to toe assessment. So we're just gonna go through a bunch of different things. So the first thing I'm gonna start off with is I'm gonna look at your head, and so it's looking symmetrical to me, and your color's proportionate to your ethnicity. I'm not seeing any abnormal colors or any red spots or anything crazy like that. No lesions on your face or anything like that. Not seeing anything on the outside. Your ears look symmetrical to your face. Your eyes, your nose, lips all look symmetrical. So I'm gonna go ahead and inspect it. So I'm gonna feel your head. I'm not feeling any bumps, any lesions, nodules. It doesn't look like you have any sort of infestation in your hair. Your hair feels thin but soft. Otherwise, it all looks pretty good. And then I'm gonna feel your ears as well. Any tenderness or anything like that? What about when I was grabbing your head? Did you feel any tenderness or anything? Okay. Well, if you have no lumps or anything like that, I'm looking at both ears. It doesn't look like there's any discharge or any redness on the inside of them. So those look pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and do this and tell me what you hear.
Fingers.
Fingers rubbing?
Rubbing, yeah.
Do you hear it on both sides?
Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like your hearing's doing pretty good on those sides. So we finished checking that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and check your eyes real quick. So it looks like your eyebrows are symmetrical. I don't see any balding or anything like that in your eyebrows. Both your eyes are symmetrical. No discharge I see. So I'm gonna have you close your eyes for me real quick. I'm gonna feel your eyes. I feel no bumps or anything like that. No lesions. Any tenderness when I hit or touch like that?
No.
Okay, so I don't feel anything like that. There's no styes. The eyelashes are extending away from the globe, so that's pretty good. Otherwise, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and check your. I'm gonna go ahead and check your pupils and stuff. So the next one that we're gonna go ahead and do is your sclera looks pretty clear from when I was looking at it. So I'm gonna go ahead and check your cornea as well too. Cornea looks clear on your right eye. Cornea looks clear on your left eye. So those look pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and check your pupils real quick. So I'm gonna have you look over my shoulder real quick and look at the painting back over there, and I'm just gonna check your pupil constriction. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good on both eyes, constricted perfectly. So for this next one, what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you look from that painting back to the side of my face, and then just keep moving back and forth. And just keep doing it. Okay, your pupils are constricting well the entire time. Both your pupils, by the way, are within 4 to 5 millimeters. They're both black, they're round, they're sharp, it's smooth. So they complete perla. It looks like you're able to move. That also shows me that your oculomotor nerve is doing well. So now I'm gonna go ahead and check out your other nerves over here. So this one, I'm gonna have this in my hand, and you're gonna follow it.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna have a light on. And this is gonna test your abducens, your trochlear, and your oculomotor nerve all at the same time. So just follow this for me. Okay, so that checks out. So all three of those nerves look pretty good. So otherwise, I don't think I missed anything on that part of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and inspect your nose. It looks symmetrical. I don't see any lesions or anything on it at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and feel around it. Doesn't feel like there's any bumps, nodules, lesions on the inside. Any tenderness when I'm touching it or anything like that? Okay. And then I'm looking at your lips. They're like pink, moist, plump, no dryness or anything like that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and inspect the inside of your mouth. So I'm gonna have you open up your mouth for me. I'm gonna look around the inside. So the oral mucosa is looking really well. It's pink, it's moist, there's no lesions or anything like that. And I'm gonna look at the back of your throat. You say ah for me. Okay. So the uvula looks midline to me. The tonsils are behind the tonsillar pillar, so they're about a +1 in my opinion. I didn't see any runoff or discharge in the background. No lesions or anything on the mucosa. But otherwise, the back of the throat is also moist and pink as well too. So everything good, look good on that part. So go ahead and smile for me, and show a little bit of gums so I can check your gums real quick. So gums are looking pink, moist, no missing teeth, no lesions, no redness, abnormal color, anything like that. So otherwise, that looks pretty good. So now we're gonna test out your hypoglossal nerve real quick. So I'm gonna have you stick your tongue out for me, and you're gonna just go side to side, and then up and down. Okay, so your hypoglossal nerve passed, and then I'm gonna have you swallow for me real quick. Okay, so your glossopharyngeal nerve also looks good because you had no issues swallowing or anything like that. And also earlier when I had you say ah, that was to test your vagus nerve, so that shows that that's okay as well too. So now I'm gonna have you clench your jaw for me. Okay, so your trigeminal nerve is working well, so can you move your jaw up and down for me? Okay, so no locking, no popping or anything like that. And then maybe close your eyes for me real quick. and I'm gonna touch different parts of your face and tell me when you feel and what part of your face I'm touching.
Forehead, chin, left cheek, right cheek.
Okay, so that completes the trigeminal nerve, so your trigeminal nerve is looking pretty good. So now I'm going to do a couple of the range of motions and still testing a little bit of cranial nerves. So for this one, I'm going to have you raise your eyebrows, shut your eyes as hard as you can, and then you can open your eyes, and then smile for me, frown, and then I want you to puff your cheeks out. Okay, so that all passed well, so all those motions on your face look pretty good. So the next one we're going to do after that is I'm going to have you do this motion, so you're going to go here. And you're going to touch your nose and close your eyes for me and just keep doing it as fast as you can for me like that. Okay, so that checks out. And then could I have you touch your thumb to all different parts of your, or each of your fingers? Okay, so that checks out for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and have you, now we're going to do a cervical check on your neck. And I'm going to have you start off by moving your neck upwards, looking at the ceiling, and then down at the ground. And then you go back to normal, and I'm going to have you tilt it to the right. And then tilt it to the left, and then I'm gonna have you look to your right, and then look to your left. Okay, so everything checks out with your cervical there. I'm gonna go ahead and check your accessory nerve. So I'm gonna put my hand against your face, and you're gonna turn it and push against it. Okay, and then left side. Okay, so that checks out, and then I'm gonna have you push up with your shoulders against here. Nice. So shoulder strength is 5 out of 5. Trapezius strength is 5 out of 5 with that. Cervical is full range of motion, everything's good with that. So now we're going to test your bicep and triceps. So I'm going to have you put your arms like this, and I'm going to pull on them, and you're going to resist. And I'm going to push on and do the same thing. Okay? So 5 out of 5 strength on your biceps and your triceps. I'm going to go ahead and check your hands real quick, and I'm going to check your fingers for cap refill. Okay, less than 3 seconds. Less than 3 seconds on both, so no edema or anything on the hands. I'm inspecting the arms as I do it as well too, so let me check for temperature. Okay, so the skin feels warm on most spots, no issues at all. I'm not seeing any lesions, it's not dry, the skin is moist enough, no issues like that. So for this next one, we're going to go ahead and have you, I think we're ready to stand up. Yeah, so we're going to have you stand up for this next one, and if you can turn to the side for me real quick. So for this one, I'm going to inspect your spine. So he's standing straight tall. It doesn't look like there's any abnormal curvature in the spine or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and feel his spine. I'm not feeling anything abnormal, no weird bumps or anything like that. And then for this test, it's called the Romberg's test. So I'm going to have you close your eyes, and you're going to try and stand as still as you can. And I'm in front of you, so in case you start swaying. So no swaying or anything like that. So it's a negative Romberg's test. So he passed that. So for this next one, you can go ahead and sit down. So the next thing that we're going to run through is I'm going to go ahead and do the abdominal, the respiratory, and the circulatory exam on you. So we'll check your heart, we're going to listen to your lungs, and we're also going to listen to your abdomen. So the first one that we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and check your heart. So for this one, you can just stay seated like that. So I'm just going to listen to your heart in a couple different places. So I'm going to pull your shirt down a little bit right here. I'm not seeing any abnormal enlargement of the heart, at least from an outside perspective. The skin is warm around there, no lesions or anything like that. But we're going to start off by listening. So we're going to listen to the aortic side. And then the pulmonary. And I'm going to go down to Erb's point. And then the tricuspid valve. Sounds good. I'm going to reach underneath your shirt here. I'm going to listen to your mitral valve. Okay. Everything sounds even on both sides, or on the whole side of your heart. I'm not hearing any irregular patterns or anything like that. It's not bounding or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to your lungs now. And make sure this is still on. It's still on. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and listen to your lung sounds. So every time you feel me put the stethoscope on one side, take a deep breath for me. base of them real quick. Okay, and then we'll listen to you laterally real quick. Okay, and listen to this side real quick. Okay. Okay, your lungs sound pretty great. They don't sound like labored breaths. They sound even. I'm not noticing anything abnormal for them. I didn't hear any wheezing or anything crazy like that. So the next one we're gonna do is the abdominal one. So for this one, I'm gonna have you lay down with your back flat on this. And we will expose your stomach real quick so I can check the abdomen. So right now, just looking at it, inspecting it, it looks flat, it looks normal. I'm not seeing any abnormal lesions. I'm not seeing any abnormal anything on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and listen to it. Okay, so I listened to all 4 spots, so now I'm gonna listen to epigastric, and then hypogastric. Okay, and everything sounded pretty normal, active to me, nothing crazy sounding or anything like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and palpate it, so I'm gonna palpate all 4 different spots, and you're gonna tell me if you feel any pain, okay? No pain? Still no pain? So no pain in all 4 spots, so you're good to pull your shirt down and come and sit back up. So we went through and we took care of your abdomen, all that. I think I got everything on your face. I think we got everything on your neck. I think we got all your facial nerves. I think we got all your arm stuff. So now I think we just have a couple of range of motion exercises left, and then for me to inspect your legs as well, because I don't think there was anything else. Okay, so go ahead and stand up for me real quick. Just a sec. So for this one, I'll just do them with you so you don't feel funny. So for this one, for the first one, I'm gonna have you take your arms and you're gonna reach up like this for me and then come back down and then hyperextend them a little bit backwards. Okay. And then you're gonna go outwards like this and then you're gonna come back and you come all the way like this. Okay. And then you're gonna come up like this and then back down. Good job. And then you're gonna come out like this and you're gonna put your wrist down, wrist up. And then you're gonna put your wrists up like this, and you're gonna supinate, and then pronate, okay? And I want you to keep a fist like this, and then extend your fingers, and then separate your fingers, and then put it back together, and then do it again, okay? So that looks good on that part. I'm gonna have you hold your arms like this. I'm gonna test your grip strength real quick, so hold onto my fingers, and then don't let go, okay? So 5 out of 5 on the grip strength, that looks pretty good. So the next one we're gonna do is we're gonna do your leg range of motion. So for this one, all you have to do is, so the first one is you're gonna put your leg out like this, and then go back down, and then do your left leg, okay? And then you're gonna bring it up, bent knee this time, okay? And then left leg, okay? And then you're gonna go sideways like this, okay? And then your left leg, and then you're gonna come in front like this, okay? And then do it with your left leg. Okay, and then you're gonna bring up with your knee again this time, except you're gonna go like this and then out. Okay, and then go ahead and do it with your left leg. So in, and then out. Okay, so that all checks out, and then we're gonna test your knee reflexes real quick, or not your knee reflexes. You're gonna take your knee and go backwards like this, and then your other one. Okay, so that checks out. So you can go ahead and sit back down, and we're almost done. But speaking of which, I forgot to check your knee reflexes, so I'm gonna check that real quick. You're not gonna dangle in too much, so. Okay, so I'm not getting emotion because he's not hanging off of his off the chair or anything like that. So it's kind of hard when he's tensed up to get a good knee reflex. But he's never had knee reflex problems. Have you had reflex problems in the past?
None.
Okay, so I'll take your word for it right now. Maybe we can do a reevaluation another day. But for now, so the next part of it is I'm gonna go ahead and test your leg strength, your hamstring and thigh strength. So what I'm gonna have you do is lift your legs up a little bit, and I'm gonna hold underneath one leg at a time, and you're gonna push down each one. Okay. So push down, okay, and then push up on here. Good job. Push up on here. Okay. So 5 out of 5 strength on his hamstring and his quadricep. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up real quick, and you can go ahead and put your feet up on this part. So I'm gonna have you do a couple more range of motion activities here in a second after I finish this. So I'm gonna pull on this, and you're gonna push back. There you go. And then like a gas pedal. Good job. So can I have you extend your ankles outwards?
Like this?
And then extend them inward. Okay, so that looks pretty good on that part. And the strength wise, his ankles are a 5 out of 5 on there. I didn't have any issues with it. I'm looking at his knees right now and his legs. I'm not seeing any lesions or anything abnormal sticking out. Everything is good. The skin looks good. There's no abnormal color. Looks pink. Looks moist. Not too dry or anything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and take your socks off real quick, and that way I can check your pedal pulse, and then I'm gonna check your cap refill on your toes real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and find the pedal pulse on both sides. Okay, so his pedal pulse sounds even, on not bounding or anything like that on both sides of his feet. So bilaterally they're okay. I'm gonna go ahead and check your cap refill. Okay, less than 3 seconds on each one of your feet. So bilaterally both your cap refills good. You can go ahead and put your socks back on. Let me see if I forgot anything mentally real quick. So I went through and I did your feet, we did your legs, we did musculoskeleton, we did neuro, we did vision. Otherwise, I think I got everything. So that looks like it's it. Thanks, man. Have a good one.